All right. Well, you got your tickets scanned, your beer and peanuts. You got a wicked nosebleed going because you are in the cheap seats with Brian and with Brad, and of course me, Jason. So, everybody, welcome to the show. This is number 2 for the cheap seats. Brian, Brad, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
It's going great. Big weekend in both the NFL and
Oh yeah,
and college football, and
huge.
we're really excited to talk about it. And Brad, we're really glad you're here because I mean the last show was fantastic, and we had some really great insight from you. And I think
Yeah,
that
definitely.
I think that we can really talk some good football here. Especially with
Yep.
Monday night going on right now with Baltimore leading 14-0 against Las Vegas.
Yep. Baltimore's defense is doing its thing. So
Yep, and I don't have them on my fantasy, but I do have one of the running backs.
you probably should have.
Yeah, yeah, I had
I did have their starting running back until an ACL tear or two or three happened.
yeah, it was. Oh, that happened to you?
Yes.
Oh, that was on
Yeah.
yours. Oh, okay. Because who do I have right now? Oh, I have Andrews, and he has 1 point. Oh no, he's the tight end. He's not the running back. He's a tight end.
I really don't want to discuss fantasy football.
Fine, we won't talk
I-
about
I had
football with
I had-
wizards.
I had a week that was there's really you know as extensive as my vocabulary is, I really don't have an adjective for what my week was without getting censored. I don't have one. So
Hmm.
I mean, we can start with the fact that Jameis Winston was on my bench. We can
Uh-huh.
start there. Yeah.
Okay, you had him on the.
We-
I had Dak Prescott on the bench for.
Yeah, Dak on your bench.
Well, yeah, but I had him on the bench for one of the leagues that I'm winning in right now, 147 to 104, and I had Tannehill starting. But on the other league, Brandon he beat me because I had Tannehill. So I had a not the greatest draft that I think,
Okay.
and so I'm giving Brandon the props that he deserves because I know he's watching right now, and I know he didn't get to rag on me on Sunday. So yeah, he's getting it. Brandon's getting me in. So
Yeah.
So there we go. So before we really get into the NFL action, let's talk real quick because we can go on NFL forever. There's a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah.
But let's talk real quick. NCAA top 25. Big moves that we saw. What is
Yeah.
what is most surprising, probably, Brian, is that you brought up that Notre Dame, even though they won twice, they barely won, and they dropped how many? They're 12 now, so they were previously 8, right?
Well, in the AP, and this is something I was touching on. I mean, there's sometimes there's some disparity between the AP and the coaches, but not this week. It's pretty close aligned. The Irish in the AP dropped 4 slots, and
Uh-huh.
in the coaches poll they dropped 3 slots. So in
Yeah.
the AP they're down to 12, and in the coaches poll they're down to 10. So
Jeez.
the AP and the
Mm.
coaches poll are definitely sending a message that
Mm-hmm.
there's no funny business this year. I mean, the fact that the Irish struggled against Florida State and now they struggled against Toledo, the AP and the coaches are letting them know that kind of stuff isn't going to fly in the beat. You're 2-0, but your body of work at 2-0 is not that of a body of work for the BCS.
And that's why this game is so different than the NFL game, because in the NFL you just got to win. You really just have to win. It doesn't matter how, you just have to win. I mean, only the points forced and points allowed are like maybe the fifth and sixth tiebreaker, I think. But it's really deep in there. In the college game, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you win. It's how you win. It's not how you do something. It's how pretty you look whenever you do it. So,
Well, the body of work, strength of schedule,
right.
it's this massive quadratic equation that the physicists of the BCS have come up with. So
Yeah.
it's not just a straight out conference title, season record, and playoffs. It's not that. It's never has been that.
Right.
So I mean, it's what we've got to work with.
Yeah, and so now the top 4 as of today, right, is Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Oregon. Oregon coming off a very impressive win against Ohio State that dropped, and I'm talking AP, that dropped all the way down to number 9. I thought, because of what happens in the past usually, that they would have only gone to maybe 5 or 6. I knew they were going to be out of the top 4. They were going to be out of the running for the college football playoff, but I didn't know they were going to drop that far. But rightfully so. I mean, they lost to an Oregon team, and Oregon now has taken their spot. So, or one spot down, but they're in as of right now. So all Oregon has to do is continue winning as they win, and they'll probably be seeing themselves in one of the semifinals. But it's interesting, that turn of events, and I like that it happened so early in the season, because we usually wait, or have to wait, closer to the holidays, to see some really big upsets. But now that we're seeing them a little early, it's going to be interesting, especially that Clemson is 1-1 and they're still number 6 in the AP. It's kind of weird, but it's their strength of schedule again.
While we're cleaning up on Oregon, I want to bring in Brad on this one. That 12th ranking is a bit deceptive, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because that defense is going to be nasty the entire year. Even without Thibodeau, they were out there. Every blade of grass on the field, they were covering it. Like, no doubt about it. Wherever the football went, they were there. So I think what you guys are alluding to is who impressed, right? Who was impressive? Did they do anything out there that would lead them to want to rank them highly? It's a results-based business in the sense of, your strength of schedule. Was it a tough opponent? Did you overperform the average expectations? If you underperformed, they're going to get you, right? You're going to drop in the rankings, and that performance will reflect. And that's just kind of how it goes in college football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and one of the interesting things that we're seeing right now is that there's some schools that in the SEC and other conferences, established schools, that are having some issues right now. One I'm gonna go through real quick. People would be surprised that they're having issues, but apparently Nick Saban seems to think that they are, as he had an entire, I guess, a soliloquy for the press after his
tirade.
A tirade's good. Tirade's good. I like that. But after Saturday's performance against Mercer, he didn't appreciate the 14 points that Mercer was able to put up, and more so, he didn't appreciate that Mercer celebrated on the field that they put up 14 points. But I mean, if you're Mercer, why not? You were expected to either zero it out or maybe just get field goals. You weren't expected to score any touchdowns on Bama. So this definitely set Saban off. But I think Saban looks at a Clemson team that struggled against Georgia. I think he looks at, albeit Georgia's excellent, but I think he sees that. I think he sees a Notre Dame team struggling. I think he sees a Florida State team that struggled against Jackson State. We'll get into that later. That was a hell of an ending, by the way. But I think Saban sees this stuff and he's like, hey, this is Alabama. I'm multi-billion-dollar earning Nick Saban, and I'm gonna nip this in the bud with the team right now and send a message that this is not gonna affect the Tide. We're gonna go to 4 days, and I'm gonna run you guys
that is incredible.
That
is incredible that had to be said, or he felt that it had to be said. You won the game. I mean, you didn't just barely won the game. You won 48-14. You won 48-14. And you know what? He's mad. He's mad because he's seen a number 25 Auburn beat Alabama State 62-0. That's what he wanted. He wanted that.
Well, guys, what you got to remember is this is the same thing that Bill Belichick does. Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are cut from the same cloth. They do the same thing. They expect to beat all of these teams 85-0 every time they play them, because that's the expectation that Nick Saban has. So if there's any deterring from those, he's going to go rip into his team, because if they're even just a little bit undisciplined in any aspect of the game, he's going to remind them that this is a new year, this is a new team, you haven't done anything. you haven't won anything. And that's the same thing that Bill Belichick does. He did the same thing the entire year. They went 16-0 all the way through the playoffs. Ultimately they lost. But the point being is it's never good enough for those type of coaches. They are going to do those things even when it seems like, hey, man, you guys won. Like, why are you like this? It's because they hold their team to such a high standard. They accept nothing less. They're going to be a little bit jerks about it, essentially.
Well, yep. Bryce Young had 227 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He averaged 8 yards a pass. He had 3 touchdowns. He had no interceptions. I mean, I'm not sure.
He was flawless. He played a flawless game.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what could it have been the 35.4 QBR that said. I mean, did he want him to have like 140, like Tom Brady? I don't.
In the words of Kobe Bryant, more. More.
Yeah, that's just how the college game is. But I mean, other than those moves, I mean, everything else was pretty much status quo.
Well, A&M dropped 2 spots. They paid the price for
winning,
not taking it to Colorado.
Yeah, they paid the price for winning. Except the number 15 Texas Longhorns lost to Arkansas.
Okay,
got spanked by Arkansas.
What makes this interesting with TU? Oh, I'm sorry, UT. Sorry. Yes, I am an Aggie. So what makes it interesting with this is it's recently announced that Oklahoma and Texas are going to be heading into the SEC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't you think maybe that got Arkansas's coaching staff to put some clippings onto the locker room and they all got together and said, hey, these guys are coming into our conference next year. Why don't we roll the welcome mat out right now? Because Arkansas is considered kind of the bottom tier SEC, but obviously when you put them up against a team that's been in the Big 12 for a while, they're letting them know this is how it is over here in this conference.
Now, with that move to the SEC, how many teams do they have in the SEC? I know because it's broken up into 2 divisions, but right. How many teams do they have now?
I got to defer to Brad on that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You're going to have 16 teams in the SEC now, broken up into 2 divisions of 8.
Oh, wow.
That's incredible. That is a very big conference. I'm assuming
they'll put them one in each. You guys think they'll put them one each division?
They have to. Because you have to keep it even,
right?
You have to keep it even. Yeah, you have to keep it even because now they'll have 7 division games every year. So, I mean, you can't play the whole conference. You don't even have enough games in college football to play the whole conference, but 7 of your games are going to be conference games. So,
that's insane.
Johnny Be Good.
That's going to be some insane competition.
Yeah, Johnny Be Good hooked it up. 16. Yeah, he's got it. Thanks.
16. Oh, okay, yeah, thank you.
Yep. So, all right. So with that, we got tons to talk about with NFL Week 1. Right now the last game of Week 1 is going on right now. 14-7. Baltimore leads Las Vegas. Las Vegas had just scored when we kind of just started and kicked the extra point. So. I don't know what the quarter it is right now, but anyways, we'll go on. Brad. So I think what I want to know, all right, minus what happened with Tampa Bay and Dallas. What surprised you really the most on Sunday yesterday?
Hands down. The demolishing of the Green Bay Packers by the New Orleans Saints. I mean, kind of looked like a football team that spent their offseason more worried about the drama their quarterback was causing than actually practicing football. Mm-hmm. To be, frank about it, I don't know what their game plan was out there, but the defensive line from New Orleans really wrecked shop on the Packers O-line. It looked like they really missed David Bakhtiari at left tackle. Aaron Rodgers looked uncomfortable majority of the game. There was a couple of times where he did some non-Aaron Rodgers things like frustrated just heaving deep balls into double coverage and, throwing multiple interceptions, which
one of them looked like a punt. I mean,
One of them was a punt. It literally was equal to a punt. As I have no idea what he was thinking. I really think that he was just frustrated and knew that he didn't have much more time to get rid of the ball and threw it up there and hoped for good things to happen. And obviously they didn't. They pulled Aaron Rodgers out of that game in the fourth quarter. I don't even know if it was before the fourth quarter started, but they went ahead and took him out and let Jordan Love finish it because there was no hope for them coming back. The other surprise in the same game is the efficiency in which Jameis Winston played. There was one point where the announcers and myself kind of stopped and looked at a play that was relatively routine and you wouldn't think of much of it. Jameis Winston went through every read on the field and potentially maybe a half another time. Decided there was nothing there he liked, threw it over somebody's head out of bounds. Now, in previous seasons, Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston is chucking that ball down the field in a double coverage and not really caring what happens. Sean Payton is the NFL's quarterback whisperer at this point. He's won games with Teddy Bridgewater, with Taysom Hill, when Drew Brees was hurt, and with Jameis Winston. The man puts an offense together in a beautiful manner, and they came to eat Green Bay's lunch. They might want to go back to the drawing board on that. Other big surprise for me was outside of how well Dallas played offensively was the Arizona Cardinals. Those guys.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Out against the Tennessee Titans, not only on offense, on defense. Chandler Jones was coming for the NFL sack record yesterday and had five. He had three in the first quarter.
And I had Tannehill starting. Man, Arizona screwed me. But but I mean, I just cannot deny how incredible that defense was playing. They were flying to the ball. Flying.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for both of you. Mm-hmm. What is a common theme that you've seen out of that Tennessee offense now in the playoffs and also against good teams? They are stacking the box to stop Derrick Henry, and what happens to the rest of the offense if Derrick Henry can't run?
There's nothing there.
Yeah,
Tannehill's running for his life, and there's if Derrick Henry is shut down, there is no contingency plan, or there is no, not necessarily contingency plan, but there's no other weapons to go to, and that includes bringing Julio Jones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they brought Julio Jones over.
Yeah.
If you can't throw to Julio Jones, then
Hey, that's kind of where I'm at too. You got Julio Jones, and you got AJ Brown out there on the outside. There's no way that you shouldn't be able to at least sustain a decent offense with those two guys on the field and Derrick Henry in the backfield. It's a little early, so I'll wait to make the for sure proclamation, but it's really starting to look like, to me, Ryan Tannehill cannot carry an offense against a good NFL defense if Derrick Henry is getting shut down. It's looking like he's not a guy who can do that game in, down out.
Yeah, they're good. That's a team that really has to rely on the running game to get everything going, because then they become very, very one-dimensional. And any one-dimensional team has a hard time winning. But we saw that too. We saw that on Thursday with the Cowboys. They were one-dimensional. They passed a lot. They barely gave the ball to Pollard or to Elliott. But it was by design. That was by design. Yeah, that was a choice.
That was by design by Kellen Moore. I think he recognized that he was up against Vita Vea and company and Ndamukong Suh, and he's already down his best offensive lineman for the night.
Mm-hmm. So it was intentional, and it also wasn't intentional, because Kellen Moore spoke after that game, and he said that Prescott checked out of 12 running plays.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, he killed out, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So which is great, because that's telling you the quarterback is not liking the state of what the defense is in front of him, and it's really smart on Dak Prescott. It's showing you how intelligent of a quarterback he is, to not just be like, okay, we'll go with this play or whatever the case is. They did exactly what they should have did, as far as not running into that brick wall, and they used the passing game the same way that Tom Brady has used it so often in his career. As an extension of the running game, via screens, via quick little ins and outs on what they call choice routes in the NFL, where the receiver has a double go. He can go in, he can cut out based on what the defense is giving him. And it's just an extension of the running game. It's only 3 or 4 yards, but it gets the job done, and it keeps the quarterback from getting demolished. It's a great game plan.
And it's really interesting to see Prescott's progression at the quarterback positions. I mean, he already had a lot of great skills in his rookie year when they went 13-3 and went to the playoffs. I mean, he was no slouch at the position. He already had an excellent grasp of the game to be starting as a rookie and be winning ball games. But now he's taken those raw skills that he had, that he was able to win games with, and now he's becoming that dangerous QB that's understanding. He's understanding defensive packages. He's understanding what the defense is showing him at the line of scrimmage. And those all are things that make an already very good quarterback a very dangerous quarterback.
He looked very elite. I mean, and I'm not being biased because I'm a Cowboys fan, but he looked elite. And that's what we've been waiting for. That's what we've been hoping for. He did incredible for someone whose foot fell off last year. And that's pretty much what happened.
Backtracking to the Arizona game real quick. I mean, we want to talk about elevated quarterback play. Kyler Murray coming off the year he had last year. And that, I mean, yesterday he went for 289. His average pass was 9 yards. He threw only 1 pick, but he had 4 TDs. And he ended up with a QBR of 80.
Mm-hmm.
So not like a blow your mind QBR, but he definitely did what he needed to not just manage the game, but also do the things at the position that was able to just give the Cardinals that he was integral in the victory.
Yeah, he had great ball placement numerous times. If you didn't get a chance to watch that game, go check out a couple of the highlights. There's two specifically that was fantastic throws. One, he was running across the formation to the right-hand side, buying himself some time, caught DeAndre Hopkins at the very back of the end zone for a toe tap touchdown. There's another one where Tennessee sent a blitz at him. Guy was coming completely uncovered. He drifts back, just keeps backpedaling, and off his back foot across his body, 55-yard touchdown, drop it in the bucket over Christian Kirk's shoulder. Beautiful. That's kind of what we saw out of Kyler Murray last season before he got injured. It was kind of all downhill once he got hurt. He wasn't able to run as much. Throwing game was kind of suffering. So if we see him stay healthy, I think you're going to see a lot more of that too.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Are we still in the Dallas game per se?
I got one more thing.
There's something I got for that.
Okay. All right.
If I'm a coach for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm actually a little pissed about that game.
Okay.
Yes, Dak Prescott looked great. The offense was, very good. However, you're not beating – or sorry, let me correct you. You're not getting a better opportunity to beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers than what you got that day. You're not probably going to have very many of the similar games to where the Bucs offense has 4 turnovers, to where the Bucs has 100+ yards in penalties, to where the Bucs shoot themselves in the foot numerous times to continue to give you chances to put points on the board. And I'm also pissed because you should have won the game anyway, even with those mistakes, had your kicker done his job. So if I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm happy that Dak is back and he looked great as he did, but I'm also really pissed that you let that opportunity to beat the Super Bowl champions in their own house slip away from you like that. Because the rest of those games that you have against the top teams like that, you're going to have to put your foot on their throat to beat them.
I'm glad Brad brought up McCarthy, because I ran across an article from Sports Illustrated and the author, and I just want to make sure and credit the author of the article, because, I mean, if I wrote it, I'd want to be credited, right? So Connor Orr for SI.com, his lead on the article is "The honeymoon phase is over for McCarthy." And
Was there ever one?
I, well, I want to get into this because he has some very valid points in here that I just want to touch on. So, and one of those, I mean, you can say what you want about it, but there was a 4th and 3 that Dallas had well inside the red zone. And given what was going on with Zerline, you had to wonder if, because what's been the one knock on McCarthy right now is that he's very much set in his ways from when he was with Green Bay, right? And he doesn't do very much of the analytics. And that's one of the things that while he was coming to Jerry for this job, that he said that he stated he had been working on this the entire time he was out of football, was becoming more analytical. Well, the analytics on that 4th and 3 told you to go for it from the analytics standpoint, but he chose to kick. So it seems as if he's still kind of set in those Green Bay habits that Aaron Rodgers didn't like, that they parted ways on, and he's still kind of bringing them into here in his second year, and now he's got all the weapons. He's got CD. He's got Amari Cooper. He had Michael Gallup until Michael Gallup went out for 3 to 5 weeks, but again, you just have to wonder on that 4th and 3 if it was should the decision have been made maybe to go for the touchdown, and that would have been the difference as of right now. But I mean, I found the article interesting, and I want to leave it at that. Now, when it comes to, I'll just touch on this for the final point on Dallas. The defense just was night and day to last year. What an improvement! I know they allowed 32 points. I know that, but it's the Super Bowl champions and Tom Brady. A lot of that had to do with maybe they were not properly utilizing Micah Parsons. And I'm going to credit Big John with this that watches our show. One of the things he brought up was that he felt that Micah Parsons was way too much in zone instead of more blitz packages and rushing off the edge, which speak to his talents. But the defense still was just, I mean, they seemed faster, they seemed more aggressive. The Hail Mary pass that got intercepted, man, I cannot remember who brought it out of the end zone, but he nearly took it to the house. That was a big gamble that he took. But why not? I mean, you got probably people downfield. Tampa Bay wasn't expecting it. He almost capitalized on it. What Quinn is doing with these guys, it's going to be something special to watch this year. That's my piece.
Yeah, and I'll let you guys keep talking, but I want to show some of the defense from the Saints and Packers. Yeah, it was.
It's not going to be very many Packers defense highlights.
No. This is all Saints right here. I mean, Aaron Rodgers he was fighting for his life. I mean, and you see him getting tackled. I mean, or getting sacked right here. 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And Brad, tell me if I'm wrong on this, but apparently you can have a quarterback rating of 35 by just throwing the ball into the dirt every time you get it snapped to you. And Aaron Rodgers was 32 that game. Is that that true?
The way that QBR is calculated, and also the regular quarterback rating, it kind of cracks me up when you start really digging into the details of it. It's like, yeah, I could throw the ball into the dirt on every snap and have a certain QBR. I'm like, why wouldn't it just be 0? It doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't. It
doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. But the only defense that I will give Aaron is that he had nowhere to go with the football. Absolutely nowhere to go. That combined with the offensive line getting destroyed, no running game, there's not really much that he could do. But I'm blaming that on the entire team, including himself, because he got frustrated and there were some throws that he shouldn't have made.
Yeah.
Really, really bad day for them.
Yeah, really, really bad day. And right now, going into halftime, Baltimore is still leading Las Vegas 14-10. Las Vegas just kicked a field goal to cap off the first half, so now they're going to be going into halftime. Las Vegas is looking a little bit better. They had some really good defensive stops there in the second quarter. So
They better have.
Yeah, the second half maybe something to watch.
You have to figure patience is wearing thin with Raider fans at some point. So
no matter what city you're in, no matter what city
Right.
they decide to be
Yeah.
in, Las Vegas, Oakland, Las Vegas, they're still getting mad.
You have two cities that are mad at you. Two. Not just one. Multiple cities that claim you that are just fed up with it. And I was talking to Brian about this before we went live here. Guys, the Raiders have themselves to blame right now. Remember when they traded Khalil Mack to the Bears, right? That was actually a thing that an NFL team did. They traded Khalil Mack for whatever reason, right?
I almost liked it to the Herschel Walker trade. I was that close. But,
I don't know if it was that close.
The Bears just give up all this draft capital. Everybody thinks they're insane. Whatever. Khalil Mack's a great player. He's been defensive player of the year, et cetera. Those picks that the Raiders got were supposed to set them up for success for the years to come. Now, I don't pretend to be the brightest person in the world, but if I draft a guy number 4 overall in the first round of the entire draft, the 4th guy picked, less than 3 seasons later, is there any reasonable thing that you can come up with where he's a healthy scratch on, not even available for the game right now, tonight?
He's not. Oh, okay.
No, he's not available. That doesn't make any sense to me. So
speaking of available, Zach Martin just got activated. He was cleared off the COVID list. So okay, cool, but now you're still out.
Now you're outlaw Collins.
Yeah, you're out Collins because he didn't study for the drug test, and so
what
he
would
failed.
a Cowboys season be without a substance abuse issue? What would
Hey, just remember one thing that I talked about last show that we did. I said that they cannot afford to miss the left tackle and the right tackle, that they could get by without Zach Martin for a game, which for the most part they did until the fourth quarter. Vita Vea started teeing off on the center because they obviously got gassed from throwing the ball so much. But we're going to be very interesting to see how it goes without La'el Collins for
now. McGovern
5 games, right?
5 games.
5 games. But McGovern didn't play terrible, so I guess you move McGovern over for now to cover there.
They have Brandon Knight and also another gentleman whose name I would butcher if I tried to say it. That actually played some tackle last year when Tyron Smith and La'el Collins went down. So that guy should just pop right into the lineup and at least have some experience and manage okay.
And with Gallup down, they actually went and they picked up a wide receiver on their practice squad.
Yeah.
Oh, who'd they pick up?
They got a kid out of Alabama. Brad, you got the name on him?
I wanted to say it was Robert Foster.
Yep, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Robert Foster, he was with should be the same guy. He was with the Bills for a few
with
years.
the Bills.
Yeah, very, very fast guy. He's a deep threat, can get down the field when he beats press coverage, which not going to be, every single time like an all-pro wide receiver or anything like that, but can be a guy to stretch the field for you.
That's essentially what Gallup offered you, though, pretty much. Coming out of that third receiver role was that speedy downfield guy. Although Gallup can run the post fairly well, though.
Well,
in addition
Gallup is that guy that's tough, man. He can get those contested catches, get those wide receiver screens, get some yards. I mean, they should be fine with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb if he can catch most of the targets that gets thrown his way. We'll leave that point alone so Jason doesn't get too mad over here.
I'm actually over it now.
Is he fuming already?
It takes about 3 days, and I'm over it by I But there were
it hasn't been 3 days. It's only been it has.
It's been 3 days. It's been more than 3 days.
Yeah.
But
Forgot it was Thursday.
There were 2 games that stood out to me, and one of them flew under the radar because no one's talking about it. No one's talking about the Niners putting 41 points up against the Lions because it's the Lions.
I'm talking about.
But it's Jimmy Garoppolo, and
I'm talking about it. I got
it,
something for that.
yeah, and he looked good. So it's that game and the Chiefs escaping the Browns. So
Jason stole my thunder. I was just about to mention the Chiefs.
I mean, you can talk about it, but those two games in particular are the ones that I really want to hear your take on, because no one's talking about San Francisco. I mean, 41 points in the NFL is 41 points, and everyone was talking about how Jimmy Garoppolo, he may be done, he may not be an elite, he may not be able to go back to the Super Bowl again. Well, he kind of sent a message, on Sunday. So let's talk about that for a second.
You know who
I'll let Bradley in with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know who did not send a message, Jason?
Who?
The 49ers defense in the fourth quarter of that game.
Right, who gave up a bulk of that 33 points to the Lions because they were up. What was it? It was 30. Yeah. They were up 38 something for a while.
Check this out. Right, so I think there's eight minutes left in the game. Mm-hmm. It's 41-17.
Mm-hmm.
All right, game should be non-existent thought at that point. Should be over. Mm-hmm. Right? They let the Lions go get a touchdown. They let the Lions get a onside kick conversion, and in both of the touchdowns that they had, they got a 2-point conversion. The 49ers are thankful and very happy that there was not more time left in that game. Otherwise, we might be talking about a different result.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan really, really needs to remember that it's okay to run the football late in games, just like we killed him for in the Super Bowl when he was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons. Guy, your offense runs the ball very well. I don't know why you thought you needed to throw on third down to give the Lions a chance to get the ball back again. So I am all for praising Kyle Shanahan and that offense that obviously he inherited from his father, and he's continued to tweak it and make it great. There's no way you let the Lions score 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions when there's less than 7 minutes in the football game. Come on now.
They scored. They scored 3 touchdowns. They scored that 1 touchdown. Then San Francisco kicked the field goal, and then the Lions scored again, back to back.
Yeah.
Defense laying an egg there for a second. So yeah, they kind of escaped. They did with that. But I mean, no one really said much about this game. But it was a lot of the running game. I mean, Garoppolo he had only 1 touchdown. He had 1 touchdown, but he had 303 yards.
And he had a QBR 75. So
his efficiency was there. His efficiency was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He managed the game like he usually does.
He threw for 300 yards on only 17 completions. That's outstanding.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the average yard per pass was 13 yards.
And what that came from was Deebo Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about Jimmy Garoppolo and give him credit where credit is due.
Love me some Deebo.
Yeah, Deebo had 9 receptions for 190 yards. The guy was just running up and down the field like the Detroit Lions weren't even bothering to acknowledge his presence. It was a great performance.
Attaching onto this, I would like to point out the NFC West was the only division to run the table on Sunday.
Correct.
Oh, really?
All of them.
Oh, that's true.
4-0. 4-0 for the NFC West.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely nothing like you. Probably gonna be a long time before we see that in the NFC least. But
those glory days are over. Not over, just not here. So it's just not here right now. So
we'll get to the Chiefs in just a second and the Browns, but don't look past those Eagles real quick. Hey, they mopped the floor with the Falcons.
Oh man, Jalen Hurts. So I want to find what his numbers were because
I can tell you what they were. The man ran for 62 yards, passed for 270, and had 3 passing touchdowns. He was lighting it up all over the field. I mean, big throw after big throw, escaping, rushing when he needed to, making smart plays. Got Devontae Smith his first touchdown. Just very, very great performance.
Devontae got him on my fantasy. Oh yeah, Hurts. Oh yeah, 264 passing yard, 3 TDs. Jesus, three touchdowns. Really good performance. My God.
Yeah. So just to put into idea here, how like bad Matt Ryan was and how good the Eagles defense was. Matt Ryan's average yard per attempt was 4.7 yards.
Oh, per pass? Oh God.
Yes.
Oh God.
4 points, which basically equates to, hey, running back here, take the ball quick.
So we're seeing some sleeper defenses this week. I mean, like real sleeper defenses. I mean, I expected Arizona to be good, but I mean, not that good. I mean, not so. I mean, I expected them to be pretty good, but I didn't think that they were gonna destroy Tannehill the way they did.
Well, so man, in week one, he's healthy over there. Like, if you think about what they did in the offseason, they went and got some veteran guys that are really good. Like, obviously, they got J.J. Watt, and that prevents an offensive line from double teaming Chandler Jones, which is obviously how he was one-on-one with the left tackle over there in Tennessee the entire game, which I still don't understand how Tennessee didn't figure it out at some point and start sending a running back or a tight end or somebody over there to help out with Chandler Jones. They just let him demolish Tannehill the whole game, but that's kind of where it's at. Like, they got some veteran guys over there they picked up on free agency that are, as long as they're healthy, they're going to do work for them.
Oh yeah. So yeah, with those, I mean, you know, speaking of some, you know, some sleeper teams. I mean, you know, Cleveland kind of came out of nowhere last year, and everyone expected them to be a force to be reckoned with, and they absolutely were. They definitely gave the Chiefs a run for their money. They struggled.
Well, they it wasn't just a run for their money. I mean, they owned that game until the
Patrick
fourth quarter. Mahomes went Tecmo Bowl in the last, you know, what he does.
Oh yeah, he went full Tecmo Bowl, and Hill really broke out. Luckily, you know, in the fourth quarter for a couple of big gains.
Once again, part of my fantasy misery. I'm just not going to get away from it today.
But you know, here's the other thing. But what worried me about this is that you had Mahomes scrambling a lot. He didn't get set in the pocket a whole lot of the game. He had to get the ball out quick, which is good. That's why you have Hill, and he was having to, you know, go lateral, go left and right. You know, what did you see there, Brad, during that game?
So yeah, man, like there was some concern from not only me but some of the, you know, the analysts that I follow on Twitter. Like, you guys just remade this entire offensive line. Like, why aren't you using it? Like, your running game should be better than what it is right now. And why is Mahomes running all over the place? And I think a little bit of what that is, they're going to need some time to gel together. But also remember, you got two rookies on that offensive line right now. So maybe you know that gets reevaluated and they don't start the whole season, or maybe it's just they need a little bit of time to work with Mahomes and figure out where he sets, because there is times where Mahomes is deep in the pocket, he's too far back, he has, you know, and he steps up. So there might be some adjustments, just feeling out process. But I think one of the key takeaways here in the difference, what you saw from the Browns yesterday and their game plan versus what you saw the Buccaneers execute in the Super Bowl. You saw the Browns be able to do that for a large majority of the game. And I don't know what changed in the fourth quarter. I would need to go back and watch the All-22 to figure out either what Kansas City started doing differently or what the Browns either, you know, mis-executed or whatever the case was. But Mahomes started getting out of the pocket, and there wasn't a linebacker there to account for him or to be able to catch him fast enough. And then they let, you know, Tyreek Hill get loose down in the secondary.
Yeah, a lot.
Safety. Yeah,
a lot.
That's kind of what killed them. But not only that, the Browns still had a chance to win this game. One of the things that I was talking about earlier is you got the ball in Baker Mayfield's hand to go win the game.
Yep.
Right? And all great quarterbacks, they want that football. I'm sure Baker Mayfield does too. I don't know if Baker Mayfield's that guy. I haven't seen him do it yet, go win a high-leverage game like that, especially against the Chiefs, because when they played the Chiefs in the playoffs, the same similar situation happened Baker Mayfield had to go take the team down there and get a touchdown to win, and he didn't do it. And this past Sunday, Baker stepped up in the pocket on the drive, trying to get them into the end zone, and he made an ill-advised throw. And he's going to have to learn not to do that. He was in the middle of the pocket. He thought he had enough room to throw the ball away, but as he's getting ready to throw that ball away, he gets hit low. Not enough juice on the ball, goes right into the defender's hand and kills the game. That's it. So like you see right here on this highlight that we got on the screen, Mahomes just get too much freedom to run down the sideline, and eventually Tyreek Hill is going to get a little bit of space. I don't know how, the safety couldn't challenge him a little bit better. Maybe he just got lost and couldn't see, the ball was coming at him because he figured, hell, Mahomes has got to be sacked by now, but he wasn't,
And he threw that across his body too.
He did.
Yep,
he did.
Totally
he
threw
does
that
that a
across
lot,
his body.
and he has the arm talent to get away with it because there's not many guys you're ever going to see in the NFL that have that arm strength. But one of the differences, what you see with the Buccaneers, is Mahomes couldn't do that because Devin White and Levante David way too fast, all over the place, smashing Mahomes if he got outside of the pocket. That's what it takes to beat the Chiefs. You have to be able to stick with Kelsey, destroy him off the line of scrimmage every time he comes off the ball, and you got a bracket coverage on Tyreek Hill, and not let Mahomes run around. And he looks like a circus dancer or something when he runs. It's like he doesn't look fast. I don't understand how he manages to just float around for forever, spin this way, spin that way, and he sometimes ends up in the end zone like he did this past yesterday for a touchdown to get him back in the game. Like, blows my mind. The guy's awesome. I mean, I don't hate him or anything. It blows my mind how defenders can't get a hold of him sometimes.
It's crazy. I'm wondering, Jason, has there been any comments that floated in our ticker? Because I can't really see the comments, but you might be able to see
we
them
haven't had
tonight.
anything since Johnny B. Good, since we were talking about NCAA.
Okay.
I mean, which is okay, but we got some viewers, so I mean, this is good. I mean, we've had about in total we've had about 52 so far, at least. Kind of check us out.
Nice.
Which is good. This is what we're doing. And who knows how the Chiefs season is going to go once football season is over. I mean, we're going to have basketball to talk about, and we can definitely do that. And
we can always cover equestrian.
Oh yes, please, yes. Let's definitely get into horse.
I mean, we can get into all kinds of stuff. I mean, we can get into equestrian, we can get into curling,
and
we
we'll
can
bring
get
up ESPN 8, the Ocho. Definitely.
We can get into croquet. Do some croquet, right?
So,
Uh-oh.
So, what do we?
Okay.
Oh, you got the kitty committee. You got the kitty committee. Look at that. flea bag. What do we? Okay. So next week, let's take a look real quick. Let's just kind of do a breakdown real quick of what we got going on next week. So, coming up here on, I mean, of course, this is the last game of week 1 tonight. But where is week?
Looking for a schedule? I got a schedule.
I got it right here in front of me.
Okay.
So week 2, we're looking at so the Thursday night game is going to be an NFC East matchup. It's going to be the 0-1 Giants versus the 0-1 Washington football team. Is
Fitzmagic out for that game, Brett? Or I heard he got hurt.
Fitzmagic is going to be out probably about 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, so we've got Heineken in there.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
This is going to be incredible. So we got that, and then we also have Patriots at Jets, both 0-1, of course. Broncos and Jaguars. Broncos have.
Hey, you got Buffalo at Miami.
Buffalo at Miami, and guess what? I am going to that game.
Oh, very nice.
I am going to that game. I got tickets, and so I'm gonna go to the game. So, I got him for really cheap from a former cohort over at UM.
Kansas City at Baltimore.
Yeah, you got Kansas City at Baltimore already, which is good, and then the Rams and the Colts. So I fully expect the Rams to win this game because of what Matthew Stafford did, and I did not.
Stafford looked fantastic.
Yeah, he I mean, wow. I mean, it didn't blow my mind, but I should have picked him before. You know.
Me too. Me and a
Yeah,
whole lot of other. Yeah.
yeah, I should have had him in my starting in my fantasy, and I didn't. But anyways, that's okay, no problem. Now the Texans surprised you, Brad. I know they did, and now they're going up against the Browns.
Yeah.
So
Might be a little bit different.
it may be a very different outcome, but I know they surprised you. You know, and
And it is at Cleveland, so
Mhm.
they're going to the doghouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Only good news for the Texans is they've beaten the Browns, I think, except for last year, like 3 or 4 games in a row. So it doesn't really matter much in this matchup. I know a lot of people got excited that the Texans blew out the Jaguars, and that's all well and good. But the Jaguars have been one of the worst teams, if not the worst team, since that improbable AFC Championship game. Yeah, I wouldn't get too excited. They got a lot of veterans on the Texans. They'll play solid to sound football, but not going to be anything to make your hopes and dreams about there. Maybe win a couple games, beat up on teams like the Jaguars, but that's about as far as the Bucks going to go there.
I do want to throw this out on the Monday night matchup. If for some reason Detroit ekes it out on Green Bay on Monday night, you can definitely say that the conversation is full on for the drama in Green Bay. So
it's gonna get real toasty, real.
I mean, if Detroit and the game's at Green Bay, so it's gonna be in the friendly confines of the cheese factory, and if Detroit comes out on top on that at Green Bay, oh man. The Boo Birds might be out on Rodgers. I mean, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say pretty definitively, Rodgers is gonna come out very pissed and play a completely different brand of football.
Probably. Yeah.
Here's the most interesting stat of the day that I got for you. Does anybody happen to know how Aaron Rodgers does anytime he plays football in the state of Florida?
No, but I know how he does when he plays in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
God.
Well, let me tell you, the state of Florida is the exact opposite of how he plays in Texas. He has more interceptions than he has touchdowns in the state of Florida, and he has a losing record in the state of Florida. So
interesting.
Wow.
Football does not like Aaron Rodgers in the state of Florida. He might want to stay away from there.
And this is okay. So you have the Dolphins, who haven't been great. You have the Buccaneers that were, I mean, they won the Super Bowl last year, but before that, no. And you had Jacksonville, which have never been great. So, wow, he has a losing record against 3 teams that have been mediocre for the last decade. So
well, here's the interesting thing: what does all 3 of those locations have in common?
Hot.
Obviously, they're in. Yeah, but none of those stadiums are domed stadiums.
That's right.
They're all exposed to the humidity. They're all outside. That's the only thing I can think of.
Maybe, and especially right now, because I mean it's really humid here in Miami. I mean, I was
so unless it's like negative 40 degrees Celsius, he's not gonna. I mean, and it's like a blizzard. He's not gonna. Okay, interesting.
Oh, hey, Johnny Be Good. Johnny Be Good does not like Aaron Rodgers. He says he's a crybaby, a diva. Come at me, bro. He says, no, seriously, I don't like Aaron Rodgers. Hey, we got you. I think you made that perfectly clear. You don't like him.
Doesn't have any affection for him.
And we're not doing him any favors on the show right now.
No. I mean,
no, we're not. Yeah, no, I don't think we are.
No, but I'm looking at the man, the myth, the legend right now, John Gruden, marching down the field against the Ravens.
Well, they better do something.
Yeah, they got to do something. And then of course we have the Cowboys at the Bolts in San Diego.
I am going to go ahead and say
interesting matchup.
I am going to go ahead and say this. Again, if Detroit somehow pulls it out, I'm going to say this right now. You can mark it that I said it here on the cheap seats. If Detroit somehow pulls it out, State Farm is going to end their partnership with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, no, maybe, because I mean, what happened to him on Sunday is he definitely got discount double checked. Definitely got double checked.
State Farm's like, look, we got that little salamander on our butts. We need we need everyone that we can get, and we can't have any problems while we're trying to hang on to policies. So I mean, either you do what you need to do in Green Bay against Detroit, or we're going to just stay with Patrick Mahomes.
I thought they got rid of that guy. I thought they stopped using Aaron Rodgers and they were using that other dude that kept getting like.
No, I've seen a couple ads.
Okay. All right.
This past weekend.
So
they had a brand new commercial for it yesterday.
Yeah, and yeah. So it looks like, oh man, Baltimore, was that no? That was they had a pretty good punt return. So so much for Las Vegas right now. But so
I said Oakland, Las Vegas.
It's hard. It's hard to keep track. Where what's his name? Al Davis's son with the weird haircut. What's his name?
Hey, look, they started in Oakland. They moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Went back to Oakland,
mm-hmm.
and then went back to Los Angeles to go to Las Vegas. I've already lost track. It's like that scene in basketball where they're drawing the lines to on the stage for the teams to big. It's like that.
Going from place to place to place. Yeah. That's right. I remember that. That's a great movie, by the way. Well, I mean, we covered week one. We talked NCAA football. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, we just really updated the AP poll.
Yeah, the AP poll. Yeah.
And we look forward to week two right now. It looks like we got some pretty good matchups. I am looking forward to the Sunday night game, Kansas City at Baltimore. That'll be fun to watch because last night's game. I mean, the Bears it was a snooze fest, So
it was
could be seeing more of Justin Fields pretty soon.
Yeah.
So
and then apparently there were some comments on Facebook Live that we were not seeing.
Oh, are there? I wasn't getting them. Oh, why wasn't I getting them? Because you know what? The restream, it doesn't bring it into the chat. I have to.
I was trying to find them and I couldn't I
actually have to look at them on. I got to figure out how to get that going because that's important.
Yes.
We want engagement. I mean,
yes.
We have the Discord that we have set up, but we've never used, so people can call in. Maybe we'll set that up for the next show. And
I would like that. Yeah, that'd be cool.
We can get some call in. We can get some people in, and nobody commented on the cheap seats.
Yeah, I just checked cheap seats. It's not on there.
Maybe
I don't know where they ended up at.
Maybe on mine. It could have been on mine. Let me double check real quick just to make sure that I'm not missing anybody. So Danny Weber. Titans suck. Okay, got it.
Is it Danny or is it Warren?
No, that was Danny. Now Warren, the Packers organization has screwed Rodgers. That's what he believes. My buddy Rob that I work with, he says that Brady is going to be MVP. Yeah, no, I don't believe so. How do I mute this?
Okay.
And then yep. Yep, I got okay.
Want it on there.
I'd love to call in and talk college football. Now, I'd love Weber to get in here and talk college football, but there's only one team he's going to talk about.
Don't sell him short there. He watches
I'm just kidding.
College football, man.
I know.
What team is this?
Huge Michigan fan.
We just have to come to an agreement. Hey, no bias on any team coming onto the show. Like, hey, so much stuff. Like, he'll tell us about the recruits that are still in high school. I swear to God, he'll know them. But gotta keep it simple.
Well, they do have a legitimate chance at taking out the Ohio State, I would say, right now.
Well, Michigan's ranked number 25 too, so they aren't in the top 25 technically. So, yeah, they have a chance to beat the Ohio State, who did lose to the Oregon Quackers. So, well, all right. So we'll get that going. Maybe we'll get the Discord going, and we'll tell everybody how they can chime in.
Cool.
And we'll get that going for the next show. But I got 10:17 over here on the East Coast. I know we're in Central Time. It's a little earlier for you, Brian. But I think this is a great show. This is a great way to kick off the not only just our second show, but going into week 2 of the NFL. It's going to be an interesting season. It's going to be a long season, 17 games. Adding that extra week, it's long. It makes it long. It's good for fans. Difficult for players. But that's okay. We'll push on
take
like
the extra
they do.
ball.
Yeah, we'll push through like they do. All right,
Their
so
millions of dollars will help them. They'll be okay.
yeah, they're gonna go home and they're gonna get their money. Oh God, I'm so tired. 17 weeks. They're gonna be dabbing their tears with $100 bills. So, well, all right, Brian, you wanna lead us out for this week?
All right. Thanks for everyone that came in and commented and joined us and checked us out. And don't forget, right here, the content is never cheap, just the seats.
All right, everybody, have a good night. Brad, thanks as
Yes,
always.
take
man.
care. Yeah.